Welcome to Q&A, Social Security Disability Today. This program is brought to you by the Reeves Law Firm, representing you and your Social Security and disability needs. If you have a problem or questions regarding Social Security and disability, call attorney Anthony Reeves. Here's your host, attorney Anthony Reeves.
Are my chances of getting approved at the Appeals Council better if I have an attorney? Now, I'm going to laugh because you're asking an attorney if you should have an attorney. And this is what I'm going to give you my phrase. This is what I tell people. The Social Security process is an informal process which is designed to be non-adversarial to allow the individual the opportunity to represent themselves accordingly for applying for disability benefits. Now, some of you right now probably think that I sound like the teacher from Charlie Brown, for those people who can recognize that that's really going back. Wah, 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 wah. I've heard you. You're probably saying, Attorney Reeves, you said a whole lot of stuff that sound like noise. Just answer the question. I'm going to answer to you in a typical attorney fashion. Hurry up and wait, because here it comes. When you are appealing a case to the Appeals Council, you're not appealing the case to say, I am disabled. That's not really the reason why you're appealing it. Now, the underlying reason behind why you're appealing is because you're disabled. When you're appealing it, what you're doing is you're telling the Appeals Council that this judge got the decision wrong. Now, you know they got it wrong because you say you're disabled. They say you're not. Attorney Reeves, I can figure that out. Boom, I'm on my own then. Cool, handle it. But now, when you get there, you need to be able to tell them why. Now, you're probably saying, because the judge saw that wrong. Okay. What you're telling me is your interpretation of the medical records were different from the judge's. Okay, and you know what they're going to say? Everybody who gets denied disability benefits feels the same way. But when you're at the Appeals Council, you are looking at legal error. Did the judge make an error of law? Not an error of fact. Not a situation where you're saying, well, factually the judge looked at this thing wrong because he should have seen I'm disabled. That's a fact argument that you're making. Okay? That's a fact argument. That your interpretation of the medical records you think shows you're disabled. Their interpretation is different. That's not a legal argument. That's a fact argument. A legal argument is you're trying to identify specific things that the judge was required to do under the law that the judge did not do or did not do properly. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you know what those are? And I'm not trying to be a smart behind. So I say that because if you're not prepared to do that, now let's make sure you don't get all caught up in the haze. Have I ever dealt with people who have appealed on their own and won on their own without an attorney? Absolutely. Because when they're up there, they're reviewing the evidence to the contrary. They're reviewing the evidence as well. They're looking to see if the judge made an error of law. However, I believe, if I remember correctly, the Appeals Council has like a 20% or 30% reversal rate, which means that if you got 100 cases, only 30 of them go back to the judge. That means, or 20 of them go back to the judge if it's 20%. That means out of 100 times, 20 times is the only time. That means you got an 80% chance of them saying, no, he got it right, or she got it right. So the question I have to ask you is, would you know when you get this 12 to 25 page document from the judge that says you are not disabled, do you know how to evaluate and determine what legal error the judge made? Now, am I saying that if you hire an attorney, they're going to get it right and knock it out of the box and get you back? No. What I am saying is that they have the ability to bring, especially those who've been doing Social Security for a while, they have the ability to evaluate the facts of your case and evaluate the decision and make a determination of what errors of law the judge made and bring it to the Appeals Council attention. And they may make these arguments for a couple of reasons. One, they're making this to get it remanded back. Two, to preserve whatever determination they make so that if they get denied and they have to take it to federal court, they know what arguments they want to make. Now, I know all this sounds like gobbledygook, and it probably doesn't really answer the question that was posed. But here's what I'm going to tell you for your benefit. The process was designed so you could do it on your own. It gets harder if you get denied by a judge. Once you get denied by a judge, you, as a layperson, has to decide if that judge made a legal error. If you have no clue as to how to figure that out, you might want to think about reaching out to someone who does. Now, you've heard me promote organizations like the National Organization of Social Security Claimants Representatives or the National Association of Disability Representatives. Both of these organizations are great organizations that can assist you with situations like this. But I'm going to tell you this. If you don't know what you're doing, it would be best that if you don't do it alone.